Admiral Zornak of the Bolian fleet sneered as his ships effortlessly bypassed Earth's primitive defensive satellites and orbital stations. The alien commander's confidence soared, certain that this backwater planet would fall quickly to their superior technology. "Commence the invasion," Zornak ordered, his gravelly voice echoing through the command center of his flagship. The Bolian invasion force descended through Earth's atmosphere, their sleek ships cutting through clouds with predatory grace. Suddenly, alarms blared across the Bolian fleet. Brilliant streaks of blue-white energy lanced upward from the planet's surface, slamming into the lead ships with devastating force. Plasma bolts tore through Bolian shields, leaving smoking hulls and disabled vessels in their wake. "Impossible!" Zornak roared, gripping the arms of his command chair as his ship shuddered from a near miss. "Retreat! All ships, pull back immediately!" As the battered Bolian fleet scrambled to escape Earth's orbit, Zornak turned to his intelligence officer, Lyra. Her typical green complexion had paled to a sickly hue. "Explain this now," he demanded. Lyra's fingers danced across her console, analyzing the unexpected weapon signatures. "Admiral, preliminary data suggests these defenses are far beyond current Earth technology. They appear to be remnants of an ancient human civilization, one that possessed capabilities surpassing even our own." Zornak's eyes narrowed. "An ancient human civilization? How did we miss this?" "The technology was dormant, sir. Our initial scans didn't detect it. It seems the current humans have found a way to reactivate these defense systems." On Earth, deep within a secret facility nestled in the Rocky Mountains, United Nations Space Command Colonel Nicholas James sprinted through reinforced blast doors. Klaxons wailed as he entered a vast chamber filled with humming machinery that hadn't seen use in millennia. James's fingers flew across holographic interfaces, bringing long-dormant systems online. The ancient command center thrummed with power as he activated additional weapon emplacements across the globe. A three-dimensional star map flickered to life, revealing pinpricks of light scattered throughout the solar system. "My God," James breathed, realizing what he was seeing. "It's a fleet, an entire armada of advanced warships just waiting to be awakened." As James worked to locate and reactivate the hidden fleet, the Bolians launched cautious probing attacks. Each foray resulted in more losses as Earth's defenses grew stronger by the hour. Admiral Zornak's frustration mounted with each failed assault. "I want a full analysis of their capabilities," he bellowed at his staff. "Find me a weakness in these ancient defenses." Lyra pored over the mounting data, her mind racing. "Admiral, I believe there may be more to this ancient human civilization than just planetary defenses. The energy signatures we're detecting, they're consistent with a spacefaring civilization. It's possible there's an entire fleet hidden in this system." Zornak's eyes widened at the implications. What had begun as a simple invasion now teetered on the brink of a full-scale interstellar conflict. The fate of both species hung in the balance as humanity's forgotten past rapidly became its greatest hope for survival. In his underground command center, Colonel James raced against time. With each passing moment, he uncovered more of Earth's hidden strength. But would it be enough? Could he reactivate the ancient fleet before the Bolians launched their next assault? The answers to these questions would determine the future of humanity and its place among the stars. Colonel James's fingers flew across the ancient control panel, his brow furrowed in concentration. Suddenly, a soft blue light filled the chamber, coalescing into a humanoid form. "Greetings, Colonel James. I am Aria, the ancient reactivation and integration assistant," the hologram announced, its voice resonant and oddly comforting. James straightened, his eyes wide. "Aria, what exactly are you?" "I am an artificial intelligence created by your ancestors to safeguard their technology and assist future generations in times of crisis," Arya explained. "I have been dormant for millennia, waiting for the moment when humanity would need me most." James's mind raced with the implications. "We need your help now more than ever. Can you tell me about the ancient fleet?" Aria's form shimmered as it projected a holographic star map. Certainly. The fleet consists of 50 capital ships and 200 support vessels, scattered throughout the solar system. Each ship is equipped with advanced weaponry, shielding, and faster-than-light capabilities far beyond your current technology. As Arya spoke, James absorbed the information, his excitement growing. With this knowledge, they stood a real chance against the Bolian invaders. Meanwhile, high above Earth, Admiral Zornak paced the bridge of his flagship, his scaled skin flushed with anger. "Enough of this cautious approach," he snarled. "Captain Vexilor." A tall, battle-scarred Bolian stepped forward. "Yes, Admiral." "Assemble your best warriors. You will lead a strike team to the planet's surface. Gather intelligence on these infernal defenses and find a way to neutralize them." Vexler saluted, a predatory grin spreading across his face. "It will be done, Admiral." Hours later, Vexilor's sleek dropship pierced Earth's atmosphere, its cloaking device rendering it invisible to human sensors. The ship touched down in a desolate region of the Siberian tundra, its occupants emerging into the bitter cold. "Spread out," Vexilor ordered. "Search for any signs of the humans' defensive systems." As the Bolians began their covert operation, alarms blared at UNSC headquarters. General Marcus Steele burst into the Situation Room, his face grim. "Report." A young lieutenant snapped to attention. "Sir, we've detected unusual energy signatures in Siberia. They match nothing in our database." Steele's eyes narrowed. "Aliens, it has to be." He turned to his communications officer. "Get me Major Sarah Connor, now." Within the hour, Major Connor stood before General Steele, her posture rigid. "You wanted to see me, sir?" Steele nodded. "Major, I'm sending you and your team to Siberia. We believe the Bolians have landed a strike force there. Your mission is to locate and neutralize this threat." Connor's eyes gleamed with persistence. "Understood, sir. What about equipment?" A smile tugged at the corner of Steele's mouth. "You'll be field testing some new toys, Major. R&D has been reverse engineering tech from the ancient defenses. It's time to see how it performs." As Connor's team geared up with prototype energy weapons and advanced armor, Colonel James worked feverishly with Arya to unlock more of Earth's hidden defenses. Deep beneath the Mojave Desert, a massive hangar door ground open for the first time in thousands of years. James stood in awe as the dust settled, revealing a small flotilla of sleek silver spacecraft. "Arya, are these—" "Indeed, Colonel," the AI confirmed. "These are scout ships from the ancient fleet. They possess advanced cloaking technology and weaponry that should prove effective against the Bolian invaders." James activated his comm link. "General Steele, we've hit the jackpot. I need our best pilots here ASAP. It's time to take the fight to the enemy." In orbit, Lyra frowned at her sensor readings. "Admiral," she called out, "I'm detecting faint energy signatures from the planet's surface. They're consistent with advanced propulsion systems we've never encountered before." Zornak's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. The humans don't possess such technology." "The readings are clear, sir," Lyra insisted. "There's more to Earth's defenses than we initially believed." The Admiral's fists clenched. "Maintain our defensive posture. We wait for Vexilor's report before our next move." On Earth, world leaders gathered for an emergency United Nations session. The chamber buzzed with tension as representatives debated their response to the alien threat. The Chinese ambassador rose, his voice sharp. "We cannot sit idly by while the United States withholds crucial information about these advanced defenses. If they do not share this technology immediately, we will be forced to take unilateral action against the invaders." As arguments erupted throughout the chamber, Colonel James watched the proceedings via secure video link. He turned to General Steele, his expression grave. "Sir, we need to unite Earth's nations against this threat. I have a plan, but it's risky." Steele raised an eyebrow. "I'm listening." "We reveal the ancient fleet's existence to the world," James proposed. "A demonstration of its power will not only intimidate the Bolians, but also convince Earth's leaders to work together." Steele considered for a long moment before nodding. "Do it, but make it count, Colonel." As James prepared for the demonstration that would change the course of human history, tension mounted in the Siberian tundra. Major Connor and her team moved silently through the snow-covered landscape, their advanced sensors picking up traces of alien technology. Captain Vexilor, alerted to the approaching humans by his own sophisticated equipment, signaled his warriors. "Prepare for ambush," he whispered, his breath misting in the frigid air. The two forces converged in a snow-swept clearing, the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. For a moment, all was still. Then, as if by unspoken signal, the night erupted into a maelstrom of energy weapons and explosions. Major Connor ducked behind a boulder, narrowly avoiding a bolt of sizzling plasma. She raised her prototype rifle, its unfamiliar weight balanced in her hands, and took aim at the nearest Bolian. The weapon hummed to life, releasing a burst of blue-white energy that struck the alien square in the chest, dropping him instantly. "Keep pressing," Connor shouted to her team. "We can't let them complete their mission." As the battle raged in Siberia, Colonel James stood in the ancient hangar beneath the Mojave, surrounded by Earth's finest pilots. He gazed at the gleaming scout ships, keenly aware that the next few hours would determine the fate of humanity. "Ladies and gentlemen," he addressed the assembled pilots, "what you see before you is humanity's legacy and our best hope for survival. It's time to show the world, and our uninvited guests, what we're truly capable of." With that, James climbed into the lead ship, the ancient systems coming to life at his touch. As the hangar doors opened to the star-filled sky above, he keyed his radio. "All pilots prepare for launch. Operation Lazarus is now in effect." The ancient hangar doors slid open with a low rumble, revealing the star-studded night sky above the Mojave Desert. Colonel James took a deep breath, his hands steady on the controls of the sleek scout ship. "All pilots, this is Lazarus Lead. Commence launch sequence," he ordered, his voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. One by one, the silvery craft lifted off, their advanced propulsion systems humming with barely suppressed power. As they ascended into the atmosphere, James marveled at the responsiveness of the controls. The ship seemed to anticipate his every move, executing maneuvers with a grace that defied modern engineering. "Lazarus Squadron, form up on me," James commanded. "We'll conduct a series of high-altitude tests before moving to low Earth orbit." As the ancient fleet began its covert trials, thousands of miles away in the frozen wasteland of Siberia, a very different battle was unfolding. Major Sarah Connor crouched behind a snow-covered boulder, her prototype energy rifle clutched tightly against her chest. The air crackled with the sound of alien weaponry and human counterfire. "Alpha Team, flank left," Connor shouted into her comm. "Beta Team, provide covering fire." Her soldiers moved with practiced precision, their advanced armor allowing them to navigate the treacherous terrain with ease. The Bolian strike force, caught off guard by the humans' unexpected technological prowess, found themselves increasingly on the defensive. Captain Vexilor snarled in frustration as another of his warriors fell to the humans' energy weapons. "Pull back to secondary positions," he ordered, his voice filled with a mixture of rage and disbelief. As the Bolians retreated, Connor spotted an opportunity. "Jenkins, Rodriguez, with me," she called out, sprinting toward a fallen alien soldier. Amidst the chaos of battle, she spotted a small, pulsing device attached to the Bolian's armor. "Cover me," Connor ordered, kneeling beside the alien corpse. With steady hands, she detached the device, a data core, she realized, and secured it in a protective case on her belt. "Major, we've got them on the run," her second-in-command reported. Connor nodded, a grim smile on her face. "Press the advantage, don't let them regroup." The battle raged on for another hour, but the outcome was clear. The human forces, equipped with their reverse-engineered weapons, steadily pushed back the Bolian invaders. Captain Vexilor, his force decimated, had no choice but to order a full retreat. As the last of the alien dropships disappeared into the night sky, Connor surveyed the battlefield. The snow was marred with scorch marks and alien blood, but her team had suffered minimal casualties. Secure the area and prepare for immediate extraction, she ordered. We need to get this intel back to headquarters ASAP. While Connor's team wrapped up their operation in Siberia, Colonel James and his pilots put the ancient scout ships through their paces high above the Earth. The ship's performance exceeded even their wildest expectations. Maverick, take your wing and execute maneuver Theta 9, James instructed Captain Michael Thompson, the decorated fighter ace he'd selected to lead the squadron. Thompson's voice crackled over the comm. Roger that, Lazarus lead, executing Theta 9 now. James watched in awe as Thompson's ship suddenly vanished from view, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it completely invisible. Moments later, it reappeared behind James's position, executing a series of impossible turns that would have torn apart any conventional aircraft. Incredible, James muttered. Arya, are you recording all this? The AI's calm voice responded in his helmet. Affirmative, Colonel. All flight data is being logged and analyzed in real time. As the ancient fleet squadron continued its trials, tensions were reaching a breaking point in the United Nations emergency session. The Chinese ambassador, Li Wei, stood at the podium, his face flushed with anger. The United States cannot continue to hoard this technology while the rest of the world stands defenseless against the alien threat, he declared. If you do not agree to share this information immediately, China will have no choice but to take unilateral action. The chamber erupted into shouts and arguments. General Marcus Steele, watching the proceedings via secure link, turned to his aides with a heavy sigh. Get me the president, he ordered. It's time we brought our allies into the loop, at least partially. Hours later, as the world teetered on the brink of both unity and division, Major Connor's transport touched down at UNSC headquarters. She sprinted from the aircraft, the captured Bolian data core clutched tightly in her hands. General Steele, she called out, spotting him waiting on the tarmac. We've got something big here, sir? Steele nodded grimly. Walk with me, Major. We're assembling a team to analyze that data immediately. As they strode through the bustling corridors of the headquarters, Steele filled Connor in on the latest developments, the success of the ancient fleet squadron's initial trials, and the political powder keg threatening to explode at the UN. They entered a high-security lab where Dr. Emily Morris, Earth's leading xenotechnologist, waited with her team. Doctor, Steele said, this is top priority. We need everything you can get from this device. Morris nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement as she took the alien data core. We'll get right on it, sir. As Morris and her team began their work, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Steele rushed to the nearest communications panel. Report, he barked. A breathless lieutenant appeared on the screen. Sir, long-range sensors have detected a massive energy signature entering the solar system. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. Steele's blood ran cold. Another Bolian fleet? Negative, sir, the lieutenant replied. The signature doesn't match known Bolian technology. It's up, sir. It's beyond anything we've encountered. Before Steele could respond, Aria's holographic form materialized in the room. General Steele, Major Connor, the AI said, its voice filled with an urgency that seemed at odds with its calm demeanor. I have identified the approaching energy signature. It is the Omega Armada, a legendary fleet from Earth's ancient past, returning home after millennia of exploration. Connor's eyes widened. My God, she breathed. What does this mean for us? Steele's mind raced with the implications. It means, Major, that the game has changed entirely. We need to make contact with that fleet before the Bolians realize what's happening. As if on cue, Colonel James's voice came through on the secure channel. General, our trials are complete. The ancient fleet squadron is ready for action. Steele exchanged a look with Connor, then turned his attention back to James. Colonel, prep your team for immediate deployment. You have a new mission, one that may well determine the fate of our entire species. In orbit, Admiral Zornak paced the bridge of his flagship, unaware of the approaching Omega Armada. His scaled fingers clenched and unclenched as he stared at the blue-green planet below. Enough of this, he snarled. "Prepare all ships for a full-scale assault. We will crush these humans once and for all." As the Bolian fleet began to move into attack formation, the pieces of humanity's response were falling into place. In the lab, Dr. Morris and her team worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of the Bolian data core. In the skies above Earth, Colonel James and Captain Thompson prepared to lead the ancient fleet squadron on its most crucial mission yet. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the Omega Armada approached, carrying with it technology and knowledge that could tip the balance of power in the galaxy. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of human civilization itself. Colonel James's voice crackled over the comm. "Ancient Fleet Squadron, this is Lazarus Lead. Prepare for Phase 2 of our mission." Captain Michael Maverick Thompson acknowledged the order, his hands steady on the controls of his sleek scout ship. "Roger that, Lazarus Lead. All wings, form up on me." The squadron accelerated away from Earth's orbit, their ancient propulsion systems humming with power. As they approached the outer reaches of the solar system, Thompson couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. "Lazarus Lead, this is Maverick. I'm picking up some strange readings on my sensors. Our cloaking systems are fluctuating." Before James could respond, the ship's cloaking devices failed simultaneously, leaving them exposed in the vast expanse of space. "All units, report," James barked, his voice tense. "Sir, it's some kind of unknown energy interference," Lieutenant Sarah Chen responded, her fingers flying over her console. "I can't pinpoint the source." James's mind raced through their options. "We can't risk detection by Bolian patrols. Maverick, take point. We're diverting through the Kuiper Belt." Thompson grimaced. "Copy that, sir. It's going to be one hell of a ride." The ancient fleet squadron banked sharply, diving into a dense field of asteroids and icy bodies. Thompson led the formation, his reflexes tested as he weaved between massive rocks hurtling through space. "Stay tight, people," he commanded. "One false move and we'll be space dust." As they navigated the treacherous field, a loud alarm blared in Thompson's cockpit. He glanced at his diagnostic screen and cursed under his breath. "Lazarus Lead, this is Maverick. My port thruster's been clipped by debris. I'm losing power." James's voice came through, calm but urgent. "Can you maintain flight, Maverick?" Thompson wrestled with the controls, his ship shuddering violently. "Affirmative, but I need to set down for repairs. There's a large asteroid dead ahead that should provide cover." "Understood. Bravo and Charlie wings continue on course. Alpha wing, we're escorting Maverick to the landing site." The damaged ship limped toward the asteroid, trailing a faint plume of vented plasma. As they touched down on the craggy surface, Thompson and his co-pilot scrambled to assess the damage. "How bad is it?" James asked, his holographic form flickering to life next to Thompson. "I could be worse, sir," Thompson replied, examining the scorched thruster. "We can patch it up, but it'll take time." James nodded grimly. "Make it quick. We can't afford any more delays." As Thompson's team worked feverishly to repair their ship, events on Earth were unfolding at a breakneck pace. In the high-security lab at UNSC headquarters, Dr. Emily Morris stared at her computer screen, her eyes wide with excitement. "General Steele, we've done it. We've cracked the Bolian data core." Steele leaned over her shoulder, his brow furrowed. "What have you found, Doctor?" Morris pointed to a complex diagram on her screen. "It's their shield system, sir. There's a vulnerability, a specific electromagnetic frequency that can disrupt their entire defensive grid." Steele's mind immediately grasped the implications. "This could change everything. Get this information to Colonel James immediately." As Morris's team scrambled to relay their findings, alarms blared throughout the facility. Steele rushed to the command center, where a sea of red warning lights illuminated the massive tactical display. "Report," he barked. A young lieutenant snapped to attention. "Sir, the Bolian fleet is on the move. They've launched a full-scale assault on major cities and military installations worldwide." Steele's heart made. "Activate all ancient defense systems, and get me Colonel James." Across the globe, ancient weapon platforms hummed to life. their energy beams lancing into the sky to meet the Bolian onslaught. The battle for Earth had begun in earnest. In Moscow, Major Sarah Connor led her team through the rubble-strewn streets, her eyes fixed on the looming silhouette of a Bolian command ship. Alpha Team, hold position and provide cover fire. Bravo Team, with me, we're going in. Connor's squad moved with practiced precision, their reverse-engineered weapons cutting through Bolian defenses. As they fought their way deeper into the ship, Connor spotted their target, the main reactor core. Jenkins, set the charges. Everyone else, watch our 6. As Jenkins worked, Connor's comm crackled to life. Major, this is UNSC Command. We've identified a weakness in Bolian shielding. Transmitting data now. Connor's eyes narrowed as she processed the new information. Copy that command. We'll put it to good use. With the charges set and the new data secured, Connor's team fought their way back out of the ship. As they sprinted for cover, a massive explosion rocked the ground, the Bolian command ship erupting in a ball of fire that consumed several nearby vessels. High above the Earth, Admiral Zornak watched in growing frustration as his fleet struggled against the planet's unexpected defenses. Impossible, he snarled. How can these primitives possess such technology? Before he could issue new orders, a lieutenant called out in alarm. Admiral, multiple unknown vessels detected entering the system. Their energy signatures are off the charts. Zornak's eyes widened as he beheld the newcomers on his tactical display. The Omega Armada had arrived. Admiral Zephyr stood on the bridge of his flagship, his weathered face set in unwavering purpose. All ships, Battle Formation Delta, engage the Bolian fleet and protect the planet below. Let's remind these invaders why humanity once ruled the stars. The Omega Armada's ships moved with impossible grace, their advanced weapons tearing through Bolian defenses like paper. As the tide of battle turned, Captain Thompson's squadron finally made contact. Omega Command, this is Captain Thompson of the Earth Defense Force. We have critical information about Bolian vulnerabilities. Admiral Zephyr's voice came through, strong and clear. Understood, Captain. Transmit your data and form up with our fleet. Together, we'll end this threat once and for all. As the combined forces of Earth and the Omega Armada pressed their advantage, Admiral Zornak faced a terrible realization. His invasion, once deemed an easy conquest, had turned into a catastrophic defeat. All ships, initiate emergency jump protocols, he ordered, his voice heavy with defeat. We must regroup and... His words were cut short as a barrage of fire from the Omega Armada struck his flagship, overloading its systems in a spectacular display of destructive power. On Earth, people emerged from shelters to see the remnants of the Bolian fleet retreating into space, pursued by the gleaming ships of the Omega Armada. A collective cheer rose from every continent as the news spread. Humanity had survived its first interstellar war. But even as celebration erupted around the globe, Colonel James, General Steele, and the other architects of Earth's defense knew that this was only the beginning. With the arrival of the Omega Armada and the revelation of humanity's ancient legacy, a new chapter in human history was about to unfold, one filled with both incredible opportunities and daunting challenges. As the ancient ships touched down on Earth's soil, Admiral Zephyr stepped forward to meet with Earth's leaders. The future of humanity hung in the balance, poised between the stars and the depths of space, with untold adventures and dangers lying in wait. As the ancient ships of the Omega Armada touched down on Earth's soil, a hush fell over the gathered crowd. Admiral Zephyr, his weathered face a testament to countless years of interstellar travel, stepped forward to meet Earth's leaders. General Steele and Colonel James stood at attention, their postures a mixture of awe and cautious optimism. "Welcome home, Admiral," Steele said, extending his hand. "We have much to discuss." Zephyr clasped Steele's hand firmly. "Indeed we do, General. The galaxy has changed in our absence, and not all for the better." In the days that followed, a flurry of activity gripped the planet. Colonel Nicholas James found himself at the center of a whirlwind of meetings, strategy sessions, and technology briefings. Working closely with Admiral Zephyr, he oversaw the establishment of the Earth Omega Defense Force, EODF. "We need to integrate our systems seamlessly," James explained to a room full of Earth's top military brass and Omega Armada officers. "Our combined strength is our best defense against future threats." As James spoke, holographic displays flickered to life, showing schematics of Earth's existing defense grid merging with the advanced Omega technology. The result was a formidable network of satellites, energy weapons, and shield generators that would encompass the entire planet. Meanwhile, in a high-security lab complex, Dr. Emily Morris hunched over a workbench, her eyes narrowed in concentration as she examined a piece of salvaged Boolean technology. Her team worked tirelessly around her, each focused on unlocking the secrets of the alien devices. "Dr. Morris!" A young assistant burst into the room, his face flushed with excitement. "We've cracked the propulsion system." Morris straightened, a smile spreading across her face. "Show me." The assistant led her to a testing chamber where a small prototype engine hummed with terrifying energy. As Morris watched, the engine engaged, lifting the test platform off the ground with a quiet whine. The implications were staggering. With this technology, Earth's space exploration capabilities would advance by leaps and bounds. Months passed, and the fruits of these labors began to take shape. In a massive hangar at the newly christened EODF spaceport, Captain Michael Maverick Thompson stood before the gleaming hull of the EFS Prometheus. The ship was a marvel of engineering, a hybrid of Earth ingenuity and ancient human technology. "She's beautiful," Thompson murmured, running his hand along the smooth metal surface. "And she's all yours, Captain," Colonel James said, approaching from behind. "Your mission is of utmost importance. Admiral Zephyr has revealed the existence of lost human colonies across the galaxy. We need to re-establish contact, assess potential threats, and find allies." Thompson nodded, his expression serious. "We won't let you down, sir." As the Prometheus prepared for launch, Earth continued its rapid transformation. Cities damaged in the Boolean attack were rebuilt with advanced materials and technology. The global economy shifted to accommodate new industries, born from the integration of ancient knowledge. The day of the Prometheus's maiden voyage arrived with much fanfare. As the ship rose gracefully from the launch pad, cheers erupted from the gathered crowd. Thompson felt the familiar thrill of acceleration as the Prometheus broke free of Earth's atmosphere and set course for the stars. Weeks into their journey, the ship's sensors detected an automated distress beacon. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "we're picking up a signal from a planet designated Nova Terra. It matches the frequency of old Earth colonial beacons." Thompson leaned forward in his command chair. "Looks like we found our first lost colony. Take us in, but stay alert. We don't know what we'll find down there." The Prometheus entered orbit around Nova Terra, a world of vast oceans and sprawling continents. Surface scans revealed signs of civilization, but at a technological level far below what they had expected. Leading a small away team, Thompson stepped onto the planet's surface. They found themselves in a settlement that seemed to blend primitive structures with remnants of advanced technology. The locals, initially wary, gathered to observe the newcomers. "We come from Earth," Thompson announced, his translator converting his words to the local dialect. "We are here to re-establish contact with our long-lost kin." An elder stepped forward, his eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and hope. "The ancient stories speak of our origins among the stars. Can it be true? Have our forebears returned?" As Thompson began to explain their mission, a commotion erupted at the edge of the crowd. A group of Nova Terrans broke through, brandishing makeshift weapons. "Liars!" one of them shouted. "You bring nothing but false promises and destruction, like the scaled ones before you." Thompson's hand instinctively moved to his weapon, but he forced himself to remain calm. "We are not your enemies," he said firmly. "We have come to help. What scaled ones do you speak of?" The accusers hesitated, confusion replacing anger on their faces. Slowly, the elder approached Thompson and studied him closely. "You truly do not know? The scaled ones, the Bolians, they came to our world not long ago. They took our resources, our people. We thought you were with them." Thompson's blood ran cold. He exchanged a worried glance with his team before addressing the elder. "We are at war with the Bolians. They attacked our homeworld, but we drove them back. We had no idea they had reached this far into the galaxy." As tensions eased, Thompson and his crew began the delicate process of reintegrating Nova Terra into the wider human community. They shared technology, medical knowledge, and historical records, helping the colonists reclaim their heritage. But even as progress was made on Nova Terra, troubling discoveries came to light. Evidence of recent Bolian activity was found scattered across the planet. Stripped mining sites, abandoned outposts, and chilling accounts from Nova Terran survivors of Bolian brutality. They're systematically targeting vulnerable human colonies, Thompson realized with growing horror. Harvesting resources, possibly even people, to fuel their war machine. As the Prometheus prepared to depart Nova Terra, now with a small contingent of colonists eager to reconnect with Earth, Thompson couldn't shake a sense of foreboding. The Bolian threat was far greater than they had imagined, and somewhere out in the vastness of space, countless other human colonies might be facing the same fate as Nova Terra. With a heavy heart but strengthened drive, Thompson gave the order to break orbit. The Prometheus's mission had taken on a new urgency. They needed to reach as many lost colonies as possible before the Bolians could strike again. Back on Earth, unaware of the Prometheus's discoveries, Major Sarah Connor led her team through the darkened streets of what was once a bustling metropolis. Intelligence had uncovered a potential Bolian sleeper cell, one that had somehow remained hidden since the invasion. "Alpha team in position," Connor whispered into her comm. "Bravo team status?" "In position, Major," came the reply. "No movement detected inside the target building." Connor took a deep breath, centering herself. "All teams, prepare to breach on my mark. Remember, we need at least one of them alive for questioning." She raised her hand, counting down silently. 3, 2, 1. "Go, go, go!" The teams burst into action, breaching the building from multiple entry points. The element of surprise was total. The Bolian agents were caught completely off guard. In the chaos that followed, Connor's trained eye spotted one of the aliens reaching for what looked like a communication device. "Stop him!" she shouted, diving across the room. But she was too late. The Bolian managed to activate the device, sending a brief burst of data before Connor's team could subdue him. As the dust settled and the prisoners were secured, Connor couldn't shake the feeling that they had just failed in a crucial way. "Major," one of her team members called out, "you need to see this." Connor followed him to a hidden room filled with alien technology. The centerpiece was a holographic display of Earth's new defense grid, with key points highlighted. They were planning to sabotage the EODF's defenses, Connor realized, her voice grim. And now they've managed to send a message off-world. As Connor's team began the process of dismantling the Bolian operation, light years away, a transmission was received in a hidden base, deep in an uncharted star system. Admiral Zornak, his scaled features set in a mask of cold willpower, reviewed the data sent by his agents on Earth. "So," he hissed, "the humans grow stronger by the day. Our window of opportunity closes quickly." He turned to his assembled officers, each representing a different alien species united by their fear of humanity's resurgence. "The time for half measures is over. We must strike now, with every ship and weapon at our disposal, before the humans can unlock more of their ancient power." As murmurs of agreement filled the room, Zoranak's eyes gleamed with anticipation. Soon, he thought, Earth would fall, and with it, the threat of humanity would be extinguished forever. As Admiral Zornak's transmission reached his hidden base, the gears of war began to turn. On Earth, Colonel Nicholas James stood in the EODF's command center, his eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching alien armada. "Activate the defense grid," he ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "All EODF units, battle stations." Across the planet, massive energy shields flickered to life, enveloping cities and strategic locations. Orbital platforms rotated into position, their weapons primed and ready. In space, Admiral Zephyr's voice crackled over the comm system as the Omega Armada took up defensive positions throughout the solar system. "Remember your training," Zephyr said, his tone resolute. "We are the vanguard of humanity. Hold the line." In her lab, Dr. Emily Morris worked feverishly, her fingers flying over holographic interfaces as she delved deeper into the ancient human technology. Suddenly, her eyes widened. "This can't be," she whispered, then louder. "Colonel James, I need to speak with you immediately." Minutes later, James listened intently as Morris explained her discovery. "There's a network of automated defense platforms scattered throughout the asteroid belt," she said, her words tumbling out in excitement. "They've been dormant for millennia, but I believe we can reactivate them." James nodded, his mind racing with the tactical possibilities. "Do it," he said. "How long will it take?" "With the right access codes, mere minutes," Morris replied, already turning back to her workstation. As Morris worked, the EFS Prometheus hurtled through space, its hybrid engines pushed to their limits. On the bridge, Captain Michael Thompson gripped the arms of his command chair, willing the ship to move faster. "Status report," he barked. His tactical officer responded promptly. "We're picking up multiple signatures, sir. Looks like ships from other human colonies. They must have received Earth's distress call." Thompson leaned forward, a plan forming in his mind. "Open a channel. We need to brief them on the situation and integrate them into our defense strategy." Light years away, the alien coalition fleet entered the solar system, their ships a menacing array of different designs and technologies. Admiral Zornak stood on the bridge of his flagship, his scaled features set in a predatory grin. "At last," he hissed, "the final battle begins. All ships advance." His words were cut short as alarms blared across the fleet. The dormant asteroid belt defenses had roared to life, unleashing a devastating barrage of energy weapons and smart missiles. Explosions blossomed in the void as the outer edge of the alien armada was shredded. Zornak snarled in frustration. "Impossible! Split the fleet! Bypass those defenses!" As the alien forces divided, weakening their cohesion, a small stealth ship slipped through the chaos. Inside, Major Sarah Connor checked her team's equipment one last time. "Remember," she said, her voice low and intense, "we get in, we get the intel, we get out. No heroics." Her team nodded grimly as their ship latched onto the hull of one of the alien coalition's command vessels. With a hiss of equalized pressure, they breached the alien ship's airlock and surged inside. The corridors of the command ship echoed with the sounds of close-quarters combat as Connor's team fought their way towards the bridge. Alien weaponry sizzled past them, leaving scorch marks on the walls. Connor ducked, rolled, and came up firing, her advanced rifle taking down 2 Bolian guards. "Bridge secure," her second-in-command reported moments later. "Accessing their systems now." As valuable intelligence was downloaded and key systems sabotaged, the main battle erupted in full force. The EFS Prometheus arrived with its contingent of colonial ships, immediately coordinating with Admiral Zephyr's forces. Captain Thompson's voice rang out clear and confident. "All ships, form up on me. We're going to hit their supply lines. Without support, their main force will crumble." The Prometheus led the charge, its advanced targeting systems allowing for precision strikes against the alien coalition's vital support vessels. Explosions rippled through space as fuel tankers and ammunition ships were reduced to debris. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Colonel James watched the battle unfold on massive screens. Beside him, the AI Aria analyzed the data streams with inhuman speed. "Colonel," Aria's synthesized voice intoned, "I've detected a pattern in the enemy fleet's movements. There's a 93.7% probability that this ship here is Admiral Zornak's flagship." James didn't hesitate. "Admiral Zephyr, new targeting data incoming. We've located their command ship." As Zephyr's task force engaged the Bolian flagship, Dr. Morris made another breakthrough. "Colonel, we've done it. The lunar cannon is online." James allowed himself a small smile. "Target the largest enemy ships. Fire at will." From the surface of the moon, a massive energy beam lanced out, cutting through the void and slicing a dreadnought in half. As the lunar cannon continued its barrage, the tide of battle began to shift. Captain Thompson, observing the battle from the Prometheus, recalled the Bolian ship's vulnerability to electromagnetic pulses. He opened a channel to EODF headquarters. "Colonel James, I have an idea. If we can generate a massive EMP burst, we could disable a significant portion of their fleet." James considered for a moment, then nodded. "Do it, Captain. We'll draw as many of them into the target area as we can." The Prometheus maneuvered into position as EODF forces engaged in a complex series of maneuvers, herding enemy ships into a concentrated area. Thompson stood on his bridge, tension visible in every line of his body. "Charge EMP to maximum," he ordered. "On my mark, fire!" A blinding pulse of electromagnetic energy radiated outward from the Prometheus. Hundreds of alien ships suddenly went dark, their systems overloaded and disabled. In the chaos that followed, Admiral Zephyr's task force finally broke through to Zornak's flagship. The two massive ships engaged in a furious exchange of fire, energy beams and missiles crisscrossing the space between them. As the battle reached its fever pitch, long-range sensors lit up with new contacts. Colonel James leaned forward, his heart racing. Reinforcements? But for which side? The unidentified ships rapidly approached, their intentions still unclear. Earth's forces, battered but unbroken, prepared to face this new development, acutely aware that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The unidentified ships rapidly approached, their intentions still unclear. Earth's forces, battered but unbroken, prepared to face this new development, acutely aware that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. As the newcomers entered weapons range, a transmission crackled across all frequencies. A deep, authoritative voice filled the comm channels. "This is Admiral Marcus Graves of the Colonial Defense Fleet. We've come to aid our brothers and sisters on Earth. Point us at the enemy." A collective sigh of relief swept through the EODF forces. Colonel James leaned forward, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Confirm identity," he ordered. Within seconds, Aria's synthetic voice responded. "Identity confirmed. Ships match long-lost colonial designs with significant technological advancements." James wasted no time. "Admiral Graves, this is Colonel Nicholas James of Earth's Orbital Defense Force. Your arrival couldn't be more timely. Transmitting tactical data now." On board the EFS Prometheus, Captain Thompson watched in awe as the colonial fleet engaged the enemy. Their ships moved with unparalleled grace, unleashing weapons that carved through Bolian shields like they were tissue paper. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "the colonial ships are using some kind of phased plasma weaponry. It's cutting through the enemy defenses like nothing we've ever seen." Thompson nodded, a plan forming in his mind. "Coordinate with Admiral Graves's fleet. We'll form a spearhead and drive straight for the enemy's command structure." As the colonial ships joined the fray, the tide of battle shifted dramatically. The alien coalition forces, caught off guard by the new threat, struggled to adapt their tactics. Admiral Zephyr's voice crackled over the comm as his task force pressed their advantage against Zornak's flagship. "We've got them on the ropes, pushing forward now." The two massive ships exchanged furious volleys, energy beams lancing across the void. Zephyr's vessel shuddered under the assault, but held firm. In a daring maneuver, Zephyr ordered all power diverted to forward shields and weapons. "Brace for impact," he shouted as his ship plowed through a field of debris, closing the distance to Zornak's flagship. A final barrage of concentrated fire struck the enemy vessel's engine nacelles, leaving it dead in space. Aboard the disabled Bolian ship, Major Sarah Connor and her team fought their way through cramped corridors, alien bodies littering their wake. They reached the engine room, quickly assessing the situation. "Plant the charges," Connor ordered, her voice tense. "We've got 5 minutes before this whole place goes up." As her team worked, Connor accessed a nearby console, downloading critical intelligence. The ship's internal alarms blared, drowning out the sounds of distant combat. Time to go, she announced, leading her team towards their extraction point. They piled into a stolen shuttle moments before the charges detonated, the resulting explosion tearing the Bolian flagship apart from within. Back on Earth, Dr. Emily Morris's fingers flew across her console as she worked alongside Colonel James. Colonel, I've found something. There's a network of ancient satellites in high orbit. If we can activate them... James didn't hesitate. Do it, Doctor. We need every advantage we can get. Morris input a series of complex commands, her brow furrowed in concentration. Suddenly, the orbital displays lit up with dozens of new signatures. Ancient weapons platforms, dormant for millennia, hummed to life. Target the largest enemy concentrations, James ordered. Fire at will. The sky above Earth lit up as the ancient weapons unleashed their fury. Precision beams of energy lanced out, each finding its mark with unerring accuracy. Bolian dreadnoughts and destroyers alike crumbled under the assault, their formations shattered. In space, Captain Thompson led the Prometheus and a mixed group of Earth and colonial vessels on a final push against the alien coalition's remaining command ships. The combined fleet moved like a well-oiled machine, their differing technologies complementing each other perfectly. All ships form up on me, Thompson commanded. We're going to punch through their lines and take out their command and control. The strike force surged forward, cutting through the enemy's disorganized defenses. Colonial ships provided cover with their advanced shielding, while Earth vessels unleashed salvos of missiles and energy weapons. The Prometheus, at the heart of the formation, coordinated the assault with precision. As they broke through to the enemy's rear lines, Thompson spotted their target, a massive communications array coordinating the remaining Bolian forces. All ships, concentrate fire on that array. Bring it down. The combined firepower of the human fleet converged on the structure, overwhelmed its defenses, and reduced it to floating debris in a matter of minutes. With their ability to coordinate lost, the remaining alien ships fell into disarray. Across the battlefield, alien vessels began to break formation. Some turned to flee, while others powered down their weapons in surrender. The comm channels filled with panicked alien transmissions and triumphant human cheers. Amidst the chaos, a small pod jettisoned from the wreckage of Zornak's flagship. The Bolian admiral had abandoned his post, seeking to escape the battle he had so confidently initiated. His flight was short-lived, however, as a tractor beam from one of Admiral Graves's ships locked onto the pod, drawing it in. As the last pockets of resistance were mopped up, the full extent of the victory became clear. Earth had stood against the greatest threat it had ever faced and emerged victorious, but the cost had been high. Colonel James surveyed the damage reports with a grim expression. Entire cities lay in ruins, defensive installations were little more than scrap, and countless lives had been lost. Begin rescue operations immediately, he ordered. Prioritize civilian areas and critical infrastructure. In a secure facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Zornak found himself facing Colonel James and Major Connor. The Bolian's scaled features were set in a defiant snarl, but his eyes betrayed his fear. "You've lost, Admiral," James stated flatly. "Now, you're going to tell us everything we want to know about your empire, your technology, and any other threats lurking out there in the galaxy." As the interrogation began, humanity stood at a crossroads. The victory had proven Earth's strength, but it had also exposed its vulnerabilities. The arrival of Admiral Graves and the colonial fleet opened up new possibilities for advancement and expansion, but also raised questions about how to integrate these long-lost human societies. In orbit, Captain Thompson stood on the Prometheus's observation deck, looking down at the battered but unbroken planet below. Admiral Graves's ship pulled alongside, dwarfing the Earth vessel. "Captain Thompson," Graves's voice came over the comm, "I believe we have much to discuss about the future of our species." Thompson nodded, his mind racing with the possibilities and challenges that lay ahead. "Indeed we do, Admiral. Indeed we do." As the Earth began its long process of recovery and adaptation to this new galactic reality, one thing was certain. Humanity's place in the cosmos had been forever changed. The stars, once sources of fear and mystery, now beckoned with promises of discovery and destiny. As the dust settled from humanity's victory over the alien coalition, Earth and its newfound allies wasted no time in pushing forward. The integration of technologies from Earth, the Omega Armada, and the returning colonial fleet sparked a renaissance of scientific advancement. Dr. Emily Morris stood in her new laboratory, surrounded by a diverse team of scientists from various human worlds. Holograms flickered around them, displaying complex equations and schematics. "We're close," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "The principles we've gleaned from the colonial ships combined with our own breakthroughs, I think we've cracked it." One of her colleagues, Dr. Raj Patel from the Omega Armada, nodded in agreement. "The simulations are promising. If this works, we'll have a faster-than-light drive that puts our old systems to shame." Months of tireless work culminated in a historic moment. On a clear day, with the world watching, the first ship equipped with the new Morris Patel drive prepared for its maiden voyage. Dr. Morris stood in the control room, her heart pounding as the countdown began. 3, 2, 1, initiate. The ship vanished in a flash of blue light. Seconds later, it reappeared, having traveled to the edge of the solar system and back in the blink of an eye. Cheers erupted in the control room and around the world. Humanity had taken its first real step into the stars. While scientists pushed the boundaries of human knowledge, the military underwent its own transformation. In a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, newly promoted General Nicholas James addressed a room full of officers from Earth, the colonies, and the Omega Armada. "Gentlemen," he began, his voice firm and authoritative, "we stand at a crossroads. Our recent victory has proven our strength, but it has also exposed our vulnerabilities. That's why, effective immediately, we are establishing the Human Galactic Defense Force." He gestured to a holographic display showing a new insignia, a stylized Earth surrounded by stars, with a shield and sword crossed behind it. "This organization will combine the best of all our forces, Earth's tenacity, colonial innovation, and the Armada's experience. Together, we will safeguard humanity's interests across the galaxy." As the HGDF took shape, another crucial mission was underway. The EFS Prometheus, now upgraded with the latest technology, prepared for its most important journey yet. Captain Michael Thompson stood on the bridge, surveying his diverse crew. "We're making history today," he announced. "Our mission is to establish diplomatic relations with other spacefaring species. We carry with us the hopes and aspirations of all humanity." The Prometheus's journey took them to the far reaches of known space. They encountered civilizations both wondrous and terrifying, forging alliances and navigating complex interstellar politics. But it was their meeting with the Zorans that would change everything. The Zoran ship appeared suddenly, its sleek design unlike anything they had ever seen. As first contact protocols were initiated, Thompson felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. A holographic image flickered to life on the bridge, revealing a being of ethereal beauty. Its translucent skin shimmered with patterns of light, and its eyes held wisdom beyond human comprehension. "Greetings, humans," the Zoran spoke, its voice resonating in their minds. "We have been watching your species with great interest. Your resilience in the face of adversity is impressive." Thompson stepped forward, bowing slightly. "On behalf of humanity, we thank you for this contact. We come in peace and friendship." The Zoran's eyes twinkled. "We know. That is why we have chosen to reveal ourselves. We propose an alliance, Captain Thompson. We offer our knowledge of cosmic phenomena and dimensional travel in exchange for a place in your story." As the Prometheus embarked on this new diplomatic mission, another fleet ventured into the unknown. Admiral Marcus Graves led an expedition to uncover the secrets of humanity's ancient past. His ships scoured the galaxy, reactivating long-dormant outposts and recovering lost technologies. Their greatest discovery came at the very edge of the Milky Way. A massive structure loomed before them, dwarfing even the largest ships in the fleet. Its design was clearly of human origin, but far beyond anything they had ever seen. "Aria!" Graves called out to the AI. "What are we looking at?" The AI's voice filled the bridge, a note of awe in its synthetic tones. "Admiral, this structure matches descriptions in ancient databases. It is known as the Nexus, a hub for intergalactic travel and communication. Its capabilities are beyond our current understanding." As Graves and his team worked to unlock the secrets of the Nexus, troubling news arrived from Earth. The interrogation of Admiral Zornak had yielded crucial and terrifying information. In a secure briefing room, General James listened intently as Zornak spoke, his alien features contorted with fear. "You don't understand," the Bolian said, his voice trembling. "We didn't come to conquer. We came to escape. There's something out there, something terrible. We call them the Void Collective. They consume everything in their path. Matter, energy, even space-time itself." James leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "And they're coming here?" Zornak nodded solemnly. "They've already consumed countless galaxies. The Milky Way is next." With this dire warning, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. General James convened an emergency council, bringing together leaders from Earth, the colonies, and their new alien allies. The chamber buzzed with tense discussions as they grappled with the existential threat. Dr. Morris, who had been called in to consult, stood to address the assembly. "The Nexus," she said, her voice cutting through the chatter. "If we can fully activate it, we might have a chance, not just to defend ourselves, but to take the fight to the Void Collective." A murmur of hope rippled through the room. James nodded, his face set with commitment. "Then that's what we'll do. Dr. Morris, you'll lead the team to unlock the Nexus. Admiral Graves, prepare our forces. Captain Thompson, we'll need you to coordinate with our allies." As the council dispersed, each member carrying the weight of humanity's future, a new chapter in Earth's history began. The race against time had started, with the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy hanging in the balance. In orbit around Earth, shipyards worked tirelessly, constructing and retrofitting vessels for the coming conflict. On the surface, civil defense drills became a daily occurrence as humanity prepared for the possibility of another invasion. And at the edge of the galaxy, the Nexus hummed with newfound energy as Dr. Morris and her team worked to unlock its ancient secrets, hoping against hope that it would be enough to save them all from the approaching darkness.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.